Well, the United States Grand Prix happened, and boy, it was eventful. Let's start by recapping what happened in Japan, which I'm sorry I haven't talked about yet because motorsport recently has finished for the year. At the Japanese Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel crashed into the side of Max Verstappen, gifting the win to Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton had a 67-point gap to Vettel going into the US Grand Prix and would be able to secure the championship if he had won and Vettel had finished lower than third. I won't go through all the combinations of finishing positions that would have granted him the championship win, but essentially, if he just drove around fast enough and finished high enough, he would win. In qualifying, Lewis Hamilton qualified on pole, followed by Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Räikkönen and Valtteri Bottas, but Vettel was given a grid place penalty and started from 5th. The championship would come down to this, and the stage was set for an awesome race. Kimi Räikkönen made a good start and managed to go up into the lead on lap 1. Meanwhile, his Ferrari teammate and championship challenger Sebastian Vettel hit the side of Daniel Ricciardo and spun himself out in the same fashion he'd done a week earlier in Suzuka. Throughout the race, Vettel would use the virtual safety cars and his driving skill to make his way through the field. Speaking of which, during the virtual safety car period, Lewis Hamilton made a pit stop while Räikkönen would stay out. It looked like Ferrari had made yet another poor strategy decision, which they have been doing all year, but Räikkönen actually pit later in the race, meaning he could go to the end on his tyres, but because Hamilton had pit so early, he would have to stop again and give up the race lead. He would come out behind Räikkönen, but he still managed to get himself into a championship-winning position after Mercedes ordered Valtteri Bottas to slow down and let Hamilton through. He was now in 3rd place and would be able to win the championship. However, Mercedes had not accounted for Sebastian Vettel. He had made his way all the way through the field and caught up to him and caught up to Valtteri Bottas and actually passed him as well, meaning that Hamilton would not win the championship. Well, Mercedes, looks like your team orders actually cost you the championship. Ironic, isn't it, Toto? The race ended with Kimi Räikkönen coming home to win, followed by Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, with Vettel finishing 4th and keeping the championship alive. So, Kimi Räikkönen had won his first Grand Prix in 5 years, his last win coming with Lotus at the 2013 Australian Grand Prix, and winning in Texas would end the longest losing streak in Formula 1 history. And how did he react? Well, in classic Kimi fashion, you could imagine he was ecstatic. So anyway, I like surprise results. Surprise results remind me that I still actually like this sport, because I care more about Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel than I'd actually like to, and as somebody who is supposed to be unbiased and loving to all drivers, that's not necessarily a good thing. Anyway, regardless, surprise results are fun. Not that it matters anyway, because Hamilton is still going to win the championship in Mexico. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. Oh no, it's not motorsport recently. Anyway, that's going to do it for this US Grand Prix review. At the moment, I don't have an intro because I'm in the process of getting one made with the new logos, and if all goes to plan, it will debut in my IndyCar season review. Now, when I say all goes to plan, I mean that actually happens. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.